It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Good morning, afternoon, depending on where you are in the United States or even the world. Happy Monday and hot, messy topics. Now, guys, we're back with Jason. Jason just got back from DC last night, so I think he's running probably on about 3 hours of sleep right now. So the fact that he's even doing this, I have all of the respect in the world. He's going to be like, I'm going to kill you. So if you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. And I want to start off before we bring up Jason with you guys rating last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac Reunion Part 2. 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. Let's start with Jay.
Hi.
Good morning.
Happy Monday. I am using my last piece of energy to do this live.
Hey.
I'm actually excited because we have some fun topics to talk about today. I mean, listen, I was just in DC. I flew in and out of Reagan National, which it used to be not the place to fly into, but damn, that airport is so nice. But seeing just a little bit of the cherry blossoms start to come out reminded me of The Real Housewives of Potomac and how delicious this season has been and how great the reunion has been so far. I'm going to have to give it like a good, let's give it an 8.5.
Can I just tell you the buildup for that was so good. When you were talking about the airport, I'm like, where's he going with this? And you're like, this delicious season. I felt like you just
spending time in my hometown was very fun. But I also, was going to meet up with someone, decided that we didn't have enough time, but maybe next time, but we'll bring some Potomac towards you. But I got some opinions from friends about this season, and it made me look at things a little differently. And I find myself, for The Real Housewives of Potomac, starting to really, really side with, oh my gosh, I'm going to be biased or whatever people say, but with Candace and Wendy.
No, see, I've been
on a lot.
Season. Candace got me back this season. I will say that she did win me back. And honestly, like, she's probably like, who gives a? I don't have to
give a shit what you think. Yeah,
right, right. No, but I'm saying, like, watching her this season, I felt like I got to understand a little bit more about her and
the bullshit she has to deal with. Yeah, for me too, I just felt like really Giselle was trying to demonize a lot of what she was doing and Chris this whole season. I can't wait until we get to the third part of the reunion where we can actually have Chris come out and talk to Giselle. I don't know. The hypocrisy in this reunion has been crazy. Are we starting with the reunion?
Yes, let's start with the reunion. I want to say really quick. We have the third part coming next week, right?
Yes.
If you think about it, or this weekend, Sunday, whatever. But if you think about it, Robin is supposed to be addressing this whole cheating allegation situation with Juan on the third part of the reunion. And this was a last-ditch attempt to, for Bravo to recontrol the narrative. They filmed her at Watch What Happens Live. It's not even the full third part. And she's already talked about this. So I don't know what else is she going to say. It's the same exact appearance that you've already asked her the questions. What is it going to be, like the last 10 minutes?
I think it kind of looks, I really think he should have done a separate thing to make it look like that. But this was something that came up last minute too. You can't really blame Andy or production for the way they were trying to do this. I think that's why they had her on Watch What Happens Live. And I'm sure they did a much lengthier interview. But the thing is, it's like, you're right in the sense we already know. Right. We already know these things. And it just looks like kind of half-assed that we're putting this at the end. But to see him in the interview, and you see the previews of the interview, and she's sitting there stirring her drink, like very uncomfortable. I still want to see what it's about. Like what other kind of information we would get.
Listen, at the end of the day, it is what it is. You're not going to convince me that your husband was DMing with this woman. She came in from Canada. She lost her wallet. Then she contacted him because she still has a phone. So she got to the hotel, and then Juan Dixon met up with her and felt so bad for her that he ended up charging the hotel to his card.
We've already called BS on this. This is the most BS story. If you had done that, you wouldn't be sitting here doing this live with me. You know what I mean?
Like, it's just Jeffrey Dahmered me.
100%.
Oh,
and
okay. Not 100%.
It's such a ridiculous story. I mean, they have worked through it. They've already worked through it, as Robin said. A lot of people are saying this is a personal situation. It's between Juan and Robin. We don't need to know about it, but we see all of these situations happening on the show. This is something that we needed to see, especially from Robin. Now, I do have to say too, at the very beginning of the reunion, Giselle tells Candace she's making a bigger deal of this whole Chris situation in her room. But it was Giselle to make it a big deal on the cameras. It was Giselle who was the one who waited months, like Candace said, to bring this up in front of cameras, in front of all the United States, as Candace likes to say. So Giselle and Robin rubbing me as hypocrites this season.
I mean, and to kind of piggyback off of what you're saying too, Giselle came out here and she did an interview saying, okay, like wait until the reunion. I'm bringing out all the receipts. Like you thought it was bad, Chris. It's about to get worse. You're the one who brought this up. Then you have Carlos King, who is the ex-producer. Now he's doing his own thing. And he came out and said in an interview on his podcast, he was like, I got some tea. I talked to some of the Potomac women and they contrived this whole storyline before they even started, which is what we heard previously about Monique when it came to the paternity of her child.
The trainer. Yeah.
Right.
The personal trainer. Yes. And they had that discussion when they were at Tom Tom after being at Andy Cohen's baby shower.
Right. And they also had that discussion on the reunion floor and it got edited out.
Right.
So they talked about all of this, but Andy and Bravo, they're not going to leave that in the reunion because then it goes from being the Real Housewives to the contrived storyline of the Housewives. And I think what happens here is the viewers are so smart, but you never want to confirm. It's like, are aliens real? We don't know. There are signs. I don't know. But once you tell us they're real, the whole world is going to go into panic. You know what I mean?
You know, earlier this season too, Karen put out a thing, said there's another lady on the Real Housewives of Potomac and her name is Production. And Production has really given it to us this season, and Production knows we're not dumb. Like we see straight through all of the BS. Like when Ashley's friend Deborah, or AKA Sesame Street, as Candace likes to call her. Not Sesame Street.
Not Sesame Street.
You know, when she did also kind of accuse Chris of being flirtatious, is now still standing by the story that it was editing. And now you have Ashley, who's like, she still stands by that story. It's just not in her character to do this. And then we had the whole Happy Eddie situation. It seems like a lot of people were being targeted, and specifically Wendy's husband, Eddie, and Chris. So I don't know. Strange. No. There's definitely two sides of two teams here.
If I were Chris, and I understand because we see going into the Potomac reunion part 3 where he's livid, right? He's mad. He's having to explain to Candace's mom, her family, his kids, his ex, the people that he works with. He has to explain this to everyone because there's millions of eyes on this franchise, and it is one of the most popular Housewives franchises at the moment. So I could get where he would come in and be so upset. However, I would think that there would have to be some sort of element of vindication here with editing and the way that they show that he never really talks to this woman anyways.
Yes.
But then I think for him, he's not looking at it like, oh my gosh, I've been vindicated. He's probably looking at it like this should have never been a topic of conversation to begin with. So thank you for the vindication. We shouldn't even be this shouldn't be happening.
No, not at all.
So,
listen, so the other great thing about the Real Housewives of Potomac, though, I feel like it is the most, for me to watch, is the most fun franchise because, like I said, the season was a little delicious and fun, and there were a lot of great clapbacks.
What is this delicious word?
I don't know. I just feel like so delicious today that I want to say delicious. Delicious. This coffee.
You were like
is
literally
delicious.
a
It's the only
zombie.
thing keeping me awake.
You were a zombie 30 minutes ago, and now you're delicious.
I am a delicious zombie until I fall asleep, and that sleep will be delicious. Okay, we're done with delicious.
Wait,
but
okay. I wanted
this
to ask
season.
you...
Hold on, this franchise is relatable. These women are relatable. They're fun. They're smart. I just love this franchise. I think that's all I wanted to say.
Out of who on this cast is relatable?
I think they're all relatable in their own ways.
Like how?
Maybe not Karen Huger. I don't find her very relatable, but I love her. I think Wendy, just having the families that they do and going through some of the things they're doing. Candace and Chris being kind of open on their relationship. We're watching Ashley go through a divorce and deal with problems with a prenup and
Oh yeah, okay.
you know, alimony, stuff like that. Wendy Osefo, I love the way she is with her family. Giselle being a single mother raising kids like this, it's relatable, it's fun. They have these long-standing relationships. Where I have a problem with the show in general is when Giselle starts to do her shit where she's, you know, putting off we're not focusing on Giselle ever. What happens in Giselle's life? What happens in Giselle's life is she's interfering on every occasion she can in everyone else's, and that's not a storyline anymore. And even though we had an activated Robin this season, her storyline, she didn't play out on TV.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, I think, again, I don't want to see anybody get fired ever, but Karen Huger just recently said that on season 8, Robin has a lot of explaining to do, and she's bringing all of the mess to Robin's doorstep. I really don't personally think that they should give Robin a season 8, not as a housewife. If anything, demote her to a friend of. I think that this should have been, give her a break. We took Kenya off of the Real Housewives of Atlanta because she went and got married.
Now's not the time for a break, though, because now you can really push this narrative, this story going into next season. She will be held more accountable because remember the reunion was filmed before all this came out and stuff like that. So I think the women will. I think this is actually, and I hate to say this because I've never liked Robin on the show. We got definitely an activated Robin this season, but I feel like we need the follow up. We need to have her. We need no cast change.
Okay,
unless
fine.
Jacqueline brings these receipts that are crazy, then keep Mia, bring Jacqueline, and just add on. But no one needs to. No one needs to
out.
Go.
Okay,
No.
well then,
Charisse.
Fine. Charisse, you can go. You didn't even land the plane for what you were trying.
You flew that plane into a mountain.
Charisse came with a target on literally Karen's back, and she just zoomed right past it. She had everything. She's like,
she
oh,
threw
I
the
got
dart,
all of
and there's the target. And she went, oh.
Yeah.
It's like, where are you going?
She did not land the plane. But if we do bring Robin back next season, then I want somebody's messy ass to get Canada Girl and bring her to a filming situation and then have Canada Girl share what happened.
Well,
that's the only way that I think it would be fair.
That would be reasonably shady of Giselle to do. So maybe
Giselle's not going to do that. I wanted to ask you, though, too, what were your thoughts when Mia... I feel like Mia looks so uncomfortable on this couch right now. And I think it's because she knows they're about to bring Jacqueline out, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I think from there, in her mind, she's like, oh, what the hell is about to happen? What is she going to come with? Because the thing is, they've known each other for a long time. There's a lot of history. They hook up with each other. They sleep with each other's husband or G or whatever, but not too much, but just a little bit, but no penetration. Like the way that they talk, it's just wild. So you know that they know each other. Exactly. You know that they know each other very, very well. And when Mia took to social media with all of this stuff about the finances and everything that was going on with her and her husband and his brother taking over the company and pushing them out, none of it made sense the way that they talked about this. And
yeah, the explanation. Sorry, go ahead.
No, the only way I could think that it would make sense is that there would be a board of people and that the company is going public or the company is a public company or something like that. And you got voted off the board. But then I would still think that if you created all of these companies and franchises, you would have some sort of money or income still left. Like they might not let you make decisions, but you would think that you would still be in charge. And then she's even coming and saying, Mia, you were never a CEO. And it's like, oh. And that's me.
I mean, it's crazy because both of these ladies have come ready. I mean, from the previews we've seen, Mia has this Pandora's box. I mean, we've seen everything from manila envelopes to posters to all kinds of stuff. Now we have a Pandora's box, a binder. Thank you. Now we have this Pandora's box of receipts, but Jacqueline is very well prepared too. So I'm really curious to see who can prove what. But Mia lost me a lot this season, not only with her drink throw at Wendy. And I thought, thinking back at it, I was almost thinking like Robin, when Robin was saying, you know, Wendy, I find her, or I found her, and let me change that word. I found her antagonistic of Mia. But remember I said on our recap one week, if you threw a drink at me, I'd be up in 2 seconds in your face. Okay, so I have to applaud Wendy for settling down, but Mia has not had a good look this season. From her choice of Airbnb in Miami to her openings of
that's
the
where you
joint.
Go. You know what that just reminded me of?
Miami adjacent.
Look, she swam in your pool. Like it's so
swam in your pool.
It's so irrelevant, but yes,
Your husband's
I
in the
get.
pool.
Yeah, husband's in the pool. What did you think? And me, I hope Mia received what Dr. Wendy Osefo was trying to say there on the reunion floor, because I think what happens too, a lot of people think because there's cameras there, nothing can happen. You just threw a drink on her. She's still a full-on human being, and you did that in front of millions of viewers. If she gets up and slaps you,
it's not just a drink throw. I mean, you look even in the chat, it is assault. It's like, this is we've seen, I mean, in Beverly Hills, it's like Friday night, but here it was not a cute look, and it was very close. It was very violent, the throw. And I'm the way Wendy has handled this has been very appropriate. I even like the fact that she said, I was coming to your room to apologize, to talk to you for the group. And you can definitely see that in the reunion, because she does still hold some resentment, which I don't blame her for.
Dr. Wendy Osefo is definitely a class act. And I think that the way that she handled this situation, when I first saw her, when she first came onto the show, I did not know if I was going to really like her, because I didn't know what was going on. I mean, we had the Monique Samuels, Candace Diller Bassett of it all. Then all of a sudden we have 4 degrees. And it just like, I didn't know how she was going to fit into the group, what the dynamics were going to be, but I am loving her more and more. I do agree with you. If there's anybody that could probably go at this point, it would most likely be Charisse. And I say, let's
Charisse, why did they even bring her? If she does not come to this reunion next week prepared and ready and like guns ablazing here, please, you don't fit in with the group anymore.
What did you think about Mia insinuating that Dr. Wendy Osefo hooked up with Peter? Because
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. I don't see that ever happening. I think what she really did was find an opportunity. You can tell that Wendy wants to use other things than her 4 degrees, right? She wants to do candles. She wants to have a housewife business. They all want to have housewife businesses. And when this opportunity came up to have a restaurant, which we all know is very, very difficult, I think that she just wanted to see if she could have that spot. No, do I think that she ever slept with Peter or gave that insinuation? I don't think so. I think that is just as strong, just as much as a strong claim as the Happy Eddie claim. I don't think that happened. And also, I think Mia admitted right after she said that didn't happen.
Yeah, but I don't like that. You know what I mean? Like,
but that's Mia. That's Mia. Remember her Twitter last year throwing shit out and then being like, "Oh no, I didn't mean that."
Yeah. No, I know. Okay, so I want to kind of just cap this part off with sort of a segue and just acknowledging something. I thought it was very interesting last night, and I have so much respect for the network and Bravo and the ladies to be able to have the conversation over the colorism claims. And I think that instead of us having those conversations off TV, and then people, like there's social media and everyone kind of attacks each other. I'm not talking about just over colorism. I'm talking about all kinds of different things. We avoid the conversation, and last night they didn't. And the way that they led into that and let Candace talk about this, I really thought that was special. I thought that was interesting, because it helps
absolutely for Andy just to sit back and shut his mouth for 5 seconds. I thought that was great. But even though he's done a great great reunion this season so far. So applause to that. But I thought it was necessary, because I think it's something that has been kind of, pushed over for too long. Now, I've seen a lot of people, even in this chat, but also on Twitter, and say we haven't even scratched the surface on that topic. And it's definitely for a longer conversation. I think that they gave, for the reunion and just the reunion, the appropriate conversation between the ladies. But it was very interesting. It's still like, I'm still learning about that situation as we learn about everything else that has been going on,
I feel like I'm learning every day.
This is life. This is life. Like, I'm learning that I need more sleep tonight. But it's interesting because I didn't really, I want to say last year or the year before, when it was for the colorism was brought up, I didn't necessarily understand it. Now, listening to Candace explain this, watching the season back, thinking about the season back, I can completely understand where they're coming from. And it's definitely an interesting conversation. And
I agree.
I want to know more about it.
Natashski said, Andy should have left the room. It was awkward to remain there. At one point, they panned out, and he was legit sitting there with his eyes closed. I
Here's
don't
the
agree
thing.
with that. I don't think he should have left the room.
Well, here's the thing. I think, could they have done a better job at it? Absolutely. Could they have not done it at all? Absolutely. So I feel like we got the happy medium of what Bravo is willing to do here. Do I think maybe this would have been a great thing to leave to the very end? I think you let the reunion play out, let the conflict and resolution, proceed. And then at the very end, yes, I agree. Let Andy leave the room, let the conversation happen, and let the women come together at the end. That would have been a much better way to end a reunion than putting it right there in the middle. I do agree with that. But again, just the fact that the network is doing that, it's a step. Yeah.
Janelle, this was interesting too. That colorism convo could have been so much more. It was not good and it deserved more time. It was not handled well. And as a Black woman, I was disappointed. Wow.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot. Well, Sarah even said Robin's going to get more airtime than the colorism conversation.
Give it a special.
And we've had too much Robin time this season. It's
okay, guys. We're
anyway.
gonna segue out of this because we will cap this off next week when we probably get to the moment like we were waiting for Beverly Hills when we heard about the Aspen drama of it all, only to get to a moment where there really wasn't that big of a moment. But I want to segue here by saying this. We just got photos of the women starting to film season 13 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Why this is important is because in the photos, they're all smiling. They look like they like each other. There's no bad egg. Hold on. We're teetering a fine line here because we can't be all hi, tea and crumpets, but we also can't be let's destroy each other's families. I thought it was interesting to see Erica filming with the rest of the women, kissing Crystal, hanging out and hugging Oliver Sutton. She was a totally different person without Lisa Rinna there. And that is the same thing that I've been saying about Potomac for the longest time is take Robin out and see if Giselle sinks or swims. Like you have to see, like she relies on her too much.
I know, but not now. Like now I'm okay with Robin next season. I had to think about it because I think maybe even 2 weeks ago I said Robin shouldn't be on the show. But now I'm like, no.
Robin?
We actually finally have a blossom holding person.
Robin, your job has been saved
a
today.
Wallflower. Yes. She's not just a wallflower. Here's the thing about Beverly Hills though is, we've all been complaining about the toxicity of Beverly Hills and what happened and transpired this past season with Lisa Rinna, with Kathy Hilton, just with Lisa Rinna in general, because it felt like she was just on a downward spiral and that she did need to maybe take this time off or this break or never come back again. We don't know. But yes, we are going to see, I think, a more lighter Beverly Hills this season. I think that's what people have asked for. That's what we want to see. How can they make that interesting? By throwing in, the thing is, they just started filming. We haven't seen who's coming back or who's added yet. And I think that will be the fuel on the fire that kind of makes the show. Because right now we're assuming Dorit is still a full-time housewife, which she is, even though she shouldn't be. But
you guys know how this works. We're hearing rumors right now. We had Tracy Lynn Johnson and Tiki Barber. She filmed all season as a freaking housewife, got demoted last minute, and she was at the reunion and they didn't even air her. Then we just heard rumors for Orange County that last minute they're making decisions to demote Gina and promote Taylor Armstrong, which we don't know if that's true yet. But yeah, it's like you don't know what's going to happen until
you never know. I mean, listen, Taylor Armstrong, I think she got her warm up in Ultimate Girls Trip. She came in and then Gina's kind of always just been there, know, so we'll see how that plays out. But I'm super curious to see how Beverly Hills plays out, especially with the rumors. You have Dorit's friend, Tracy Tudor, is now kind of being touted as a housewife, which, by the way, a lot of people have been posting, here's Tracy Tudor's audition all over like Twitter and Instagram and stuff. And I'm kind of here for Tracy Tudor, really.
I'm here for Tracy Tudor, and I want to know more about this Claudine Keene woman.
Yes.
I want to know, she's apparently Dorit's friend, and her husband is a soccer coach. She has...
Well, thank goodness he's not a lawyer or a finance person.
Nope, he's an Irish soccer coach, so I don't think we have to worry about anybody going to prison right now. Isn't that so pathetic? Like, that is the stage that we're... first of all, anybody, I would hate 10 years ago, like the Housewives had it so good, not 10 years ago, but when they first started, it was like, yeah, we had social media, we had MySpace and stuff. Remember they had those cute little blogs where they would have to write,
Did
their
we
little
have
blogs.
MySpace in 2010, 11?
Now you can't now housewives that come in, before it was like, oh, we don't know who this woman is. Is she going to be fun? Is she not? Now it's like, okay, guys, we just got the green light. We have a new housewife. Everybody split up and let's see what we can find. Let's take
Open
her.
your closet. Open
Yeah.
your closet. Let's see what's in it way in the back. What do you have in storage, girl? Because we need to figure it out. Yeah, and I hope we're not going to see another season like this, like we just saw in Beverly Hills. I hope we have a more Ladies of London, cotton candy, but dramatic. It can be dramatic without all the, I mean, Erica's drama is still going to be there, but without all the court drama, without all the scamming, without all the, digging up things. It can be very interesting. I mean, just watching Tracy Tudor's clip from $1 Million Listing with Josh Flagg, I was like, this is interesting. And all it is a he said, she said kind of thing, or, saying something personal that needs an apology. This is interesting. It can be interesting without all of the circus behind, like the Erica Girardi situation.
I mean, Tracy Tudor, please.
Tracy Tudor, we're here for you.
Grace us with your presence. No, I think too, at the end of this season, I'm so curious. I'm calling it now. I feel like the fans who watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, we're going to have another moment. It's going to be a Jax Taylor, Stassi Schroeder, Ramona Singer, Nene Leakes kind of moment of like somebody leaves, right? And everybody's like, okay, they're gone. And then they've been asking for this. And then all of a sudden they're gone. And it's be careful what you wish for. And I'm wondering if that's,
with Jax Taylor and Ramona, I don't think, I know a lot of people were like, we want them gone, but we miss them now. Who is missing Jax Taylor?
Well, see, I thought nobody would be missing Jax.
His
Taylor,
energy has been replaced.
What James has definitely.
James, sometimes Tom Sandoval. The energy is still there. We don't need the Jax Taylor.
Yeah. Okay. So before we get into the Vanderpump Rules of it all, give us your Beverly Hills predictions.
I think we do have a newcomer. For sure. I think that one of the people you brought up will be a friend of, and I think we have a returning housewife. So those are my predictions as of now.
Did you see where Brandi Glanville just tweeted out, I'm so over all of this, I'm going to go hang out with my real friends? No.
I mean, she should probably just stay off social media for a minute.
Yeah, probably. But
just for a minute.
I don't think, when I saw that, I was like, she's just messing with you guys, because she also posted that one thing where she let the diamond out of her hand, remember? And she said, best Christmas present. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that
we're not going to see Brandi on Beverly Hills. This was something that I was talking about, like a month ago. I was like, yeah, we could see her on Beverly Hills and it might be interesting. But after everything that has happened, especially the investigation going on right now, and then it was reported that she was supposed to still, even with the investigation happening, be at the Traders reunion. She obviously was not there. Isn't that tonight? Am I missing something?
No, she didn't go to the reunion.
Yeah, but when was that? Last night?
Oh, I don't know. I've never even watched an episode of Traders.
What? The UK one is way, way superior, I think. But anyway, we won't see her for a while. It's going to be a break, or it's going to be
we're done.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. No, I agree, because I think what is going to happen is that there's going to be the investigation. They're going to conclude the investigation. I feel like what they're going to say is, we didn't find any sort of wrongdoing, because they don't want fans to attack either of the women. And then they're just going to part ways and quietly just like, okay, we want this to go away. We don't want to talk about this. We don't condone this. Kind of like what we did with Salt Lake City.
Right.
I mean, they're two totally different instances, but it's like, it seems like the network is always trying to get ahead. And by getting ahead, it's like, push that as far back as you possibly can. We are not talking about, don't bring it up.
Put it in the back of our closet so we can bring it out later.
Yes.
When the skeletons need to be revealed.
Save that for 3 seasons from now. Okay. We have a storyline, season 16. We're on season 13. Yeah. Season 16. Keep the storyline. Okay. Yeah. So you think that we're going to bring back somebody, an old housewife? So I'm guessing that you're probably saying Lisa Vanderpump then. That's who you're assuming.
I'm not saying who. You're assuming.
Oh.
Just kidding. I still think we'll get some kind of appearance from Lisa. I mean, come on.
I think we're gonna get a Garcelle appearance with Lisa, and I think what's going to
It's
happen.
already been filmed. Of course we are.
That wasn't for Beverly Hills. That was for Vanderpump Rules. So
I know.
think
That's what I'm saying. We know that's going to happen. I still think we're going to see a Vanderpump Rules appearance, at least a Vanderpump appearance on Beverly Hills. I really think we're going to see it.
But I mean, this is the perfect segue too, because now that you've met up with Sutton, you're good friends with Kathy, you're friends with Garcelle. Let's just bring you in because it makes sense now. Whereas before, it didn't really make sense because who would she have hung out with? It would have just been awkwardly like her walking in being like, hi, ladies. Last time I saw all of you guys, you were complete assholes to me. Right?
Exactly. Okay. I'm not going to hold my breath, but I'm hoping for a Vanderpump return.
Okay. So let's move on to the next thing. Really quick, I wanted to ask you, can you just clarify this before I get into Vanderpump Rules? What is going on with Captain Lee and Captain Sandy?
Well, I think that's old news.
No, I know. I keep hearing, but people keep asking me about it. They're not getting along because he went on Twitter. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing. She's being asked a lot about it because she's doing kind of a press tour. You know, she did Heather McDonald's Juicy Scoop, which is very interesting to listen to her on there. I really highly recommend that interview if you want to find out kind of what's happening really on season 10 of Below Deck. But let me try to give you that whole explanation because we've talked a little bit about this on Anchor Watch, and now I have more information about what's happening on Below Deck. Okay,
here we go.
So Captain Lee, of course, came on. He needed some surgery. He had health issues. Captain Sandy went to replace him. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
During which she fired one of the crew members, Camille. Now, Camille was fired because she needed to be fired. He tweeted something on like, well, I wish you would have given me some kind of warning or notice that you were going to do this. Well, we saw on camera that she did call her. Now, when the captain is manning the ship, the captain makes all the calls. It is not Captain Lee's ship at that point. It's Captain Sandy's. Right. We've had Captain Sean on Below Deck, on Anchor Watch talk about that situation. Now, the tweets got a little kind of out of hand because then Captain Sandy's partner, Leah, tweeted, she did this as a favor to you to help you out, and she left me during a time I needed you. So right now you see Captain Lee kind of like going off on Twitter a bit because a lot of rumors are saying he's fired. We've already before the season even aired, I told everyone at Anchor Watch that Captain Lee, this will be his last season. And it's not so much that he's fired. I think the network is like, you have health issues, you're running a boat. This is a security and safety concern. So, you know, whatever. So you brought in Captain Sandy, but they are making changes to Below Deck. And I think we're going to start to see that in Sailing and Below Deck Med. They're trying to revamp the franchise. We know that Captain Carey from Below Deck Adventure is now going to take over for Captain Lee and is currently filming. We know that we are getting another captain. I don't know on if it's going to be for Below Deck or they're adding a different franchise, but there is another captain on their way too. But the whole fight between Lee and Sandy, I just think is a little.
Do you think it's so Bravo? Like, are they doing it to is it promotion or is it just really like, no, I don't owe you anything.
I don't know. I mean, like Sandy said, captains need to support each other. I think she said that on Scheana's podcast, if I'm not mistaken. But we've seen the support right now between Carrie, Sandy, Jason, Glenn. Captain Glenn from Sailing kind of stays out of it on his own little bubble, which is great. That's what makes him so great. But you see that support. But when it comes to Lee, like not supporting Sandy, I'm like, you guys are old friends. Like you guys came into Pump one night. I remember when they came into Pump together. I don't know. I don't think they're doing it for the Bravo effect, but I think that Lee is being left out of the revamp of Below Deck, which doesn't need a revamp because it is the most highest rated show on Bravo currently and for the past 5 years, I believe.
I mean, anytime you see somebody from Below Deck, they will absolutely remind you.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will.
Guys, the Below Deck people, I have to say, first of all, I love our Bravo talent, all of them, right? Most of them, not all of them. Still don't like Jax. That's okay. Scheana had to cut that out of her podcast. She's like, you said you didn't like Jax. And I was like, I don't like Jax. And she's like, no, I have to cut a cigarette
in your face. How do you like someone like that?
Yeah. I had a cigarette thrown in my face. Thank you. But for Below Deck, it's so funny because every time we see Below Deck, not all of them, but a lot of the cast members, it's just like, the 10 seconds of fame. It's wild. I've never.
You're talking about You're talking about like the second, third stews, deckhands, those bosuns, whatever. There are only 3 roles on Below Deck who you should really keep track of, and that is like a chief stew, a captain, and a chef. Other than that, the rest of the crew is very interchangeable, but I feel like you need those 3 characters, that little triangle of characters to really support the show.
Right.
The rest, it's like this is the hospitality industry. This is the yachting industry. People come and go from yachts all the time. That's why there's no set cast. This is why we're not paying, like Chef Rachel blew up on Bravo for not. Why are we not paid like Housewives? Well, because it's different. It's a different thing. You guys are doing a real job. Housewives are not.
Hold on. I actually want to ask the live chat this, because I'm curious. First of all, I don't understand the pay scale for any of the franchises. And I know that we've said this before, guys.
But it's changed. The pay scale has changed.
I mean, kind
They're
of.
not paying the big bucks anymore.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like before, well, because they had to reel it in, because then every single season, people kept renegotiating, and then we went from starting to pay these women like tens of thousands of dollars at the very beginning to paying them almost $2 million. You can't. How the hell do you keep up with that? The payment was going up and the ratings were going down. They're like, we can't do this. But I don't know if I agree or disagree with Rachel about that, because she's still filming. She's still doing a job. She's in every single episode.
Okay, so here's the thing. When I was talking about the triangle, I feel like we need to solidify a triangle in each franchise. Med, the main, Below Deck, Adventure, Down Under. We need to have our captain, we need our chief stew, and we need our chef, and we need to leave it alone for a minute and then interchange the rest of the cast. If you can do that and you can prove that you can be there for that long, like Chef Rachel, I think is amazing TV, like her or not, she's great TV. Do I think she needs a pay increase? Yeah. When people are in Southern Charm, this is her argument. If Austin Kroll is making that much money, why the hell am I on the highest rated show on Bravo making nothing? And I agree.
I agree with that. Okay. Yeah. I wanted to bring this up really quick. Yes, Jason.
By the way, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but I love all the naughty yachties in the chat right now. It's so great to see the anchors.
That's why I wanted to ask. And it wakes you up. It gets you like that's your realm.
Yes.
I love that shit.
Yes. I love Anchor Watch, guys. Tomorrow night, 11 p.m.
So funny story, guys. We will transition into Vanderpump Rules right now with this question. Indub said, does anyone feel bad for Jax that Lala's ex, he who shall not be named, owes him a lot of money? You guys are going to die. I have a story. So Big Ed and Jax came into Tom Tom, right? When they did, everybody, like I think it was a Friday night or a Saturday night. It was right before the pandemic hit. So they came in, and if you want to get recognized by people that you don't know, then obviously go to a restaurant that is on a reality TV show that you are on.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
So Jax would always come to Tom Tom, and he would get so mad because people would run up to him and be like, Jax, Jax. And he would act so irritated. He would be like, can you get away from me? He was mean. He was nasty to people. And Randall loved it. Randall would come in, he would grab a drink, he would say hi to everybody. People would be like, Randall. And he would just he was a celebrity. So I'm in the back section. I'm getting ready to close out my tables and all of that. And all of these drunk women are like, oh my God, Randall, call Lala. He's like, what is this? They're like a bachelor party or bachelorette party. He's like, get them a round of shots on me. Actually, 2. What are you guys having for appetizers? Get them another one of those. Racks up a $2,000 bill. At the end, I gave it to him with my auto grad on it because you're not tipping me on $2,000. And Correct. He said, I don't have my wallet. And I looked and I went over to Richardson. I was like, he doesn't have his wallet. And he's like, that's not my problem. And I was like,
it's not. It's no one's problem. The sheriff will be waiting for you outside.
Yeah. And Jax had to pay the bill. And Jax said to me, he's like, God, man, I can't keep fronting this bill. Every time we go out, he's like, how much is the bill? And I said, it's $2,000 plus auto grad. He's like, every time we go out, I'm spending thousands of dollars. How do you keep forgetting your wallet? And I said to Jax, I was like, he reminds me of this one loser that my mom dated. Every time we would go to Denny's on Sunday, he always forgot his wallet. That's all.
Yeah. And it's like, then why are you hanging out with him? Like, learn your lesson once, move on. Like, come on.
The connection.
Here's the thing about reality stars, especially the ones who like work at Sir or Tom Tom or whatever. When Tom and Tom come into Tom Tom, or when they used to come into Tom Tom, they're there for the party, to take photos, to ramp up. They're the mascots of Tom Tom, right? When
Yeah.
Lisa comes into Pump, it's a whole extravagant thing. Like the dogs come in first, and you know that her and Ken are right behind, and she's lovely with everyone. That's the business. The business is this restaurant is on television. This is how we make money. So when people are there and they see you at your own restaurant, which Tom and Tom are very good at, which Lisa was at Pump 4 nights a week. 4 nights a week. Okay. Does
Right.
she? I'm like, do you ever get sick of this food? Whatever. But she entertains the guests. She entertains her own friends, and people like to see that because you see the investment that she has in her business. I think that's cool. But don't walk in to Tom, Sir, Pump, Schwartz, and Sandy's when you're on Vanderpump Rules and be like, oh, no photos, no photos.
The
Please,
most
unless you're Michelle Yeoh, who's about to win an Oscar, no one wants a photo with you anyway.
Katie Roberts said the dogs come in first. Haha. He's not kidding.
No, it's like a parade. First, we start with
Yeah. There's yes. He's not joking.
The dogs come in first, and actually the dogs sit in the chairs and they stay before anyone even gets there. They're very, very well behaved dogs.
And usually there's a Pomeranian sitting right smack dab in the middle of the table like it is a freaking centerpiece.
Yes.
Yeah. And they'll eat around it too.
Those should be the centerpieces.
Yeah, they'll sit there and they're so funny. But yes, I agree with you. You don't show up to a show. I only know 2 people, and I love Max Boyens. I loved working for him when all of this stuff came out, and then I haven't talked to him since he got fired and all that. I stopped talking to him. But when he came in to Tom, when he was filming, he did have like a little.
Sorry, what you just said was so funny. Yeah,
Right.
I used to like him, but then he got fired, and I just stopped talking to him.
Yeah. But no, he would come in as soon as he started filming. Do you remember you and I said, "Oh no, this is going to be bad," because I was working for him. You were working right next door in the ego. And then once the show came on, people would walk up and be like, "Max, oh my God, we saw you on Vanderpump Rules," and he'd be like, "So annoying. I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to sit in the office."
Oh, I have to film, and I have to. Why does Lisa and Ken expect me to show up for my job when I have to film? Well, filming is separate. That's a separate thing. I call it the first season ego. So like anyone who gets on the show for like a little bit or has like a thing, like remind me of her name.
Allie?
Billy Lee.
Oh, Billy Lee.
There's your first season ego, friend. It didn't last long. You know what I mean? And you're not being paid that, first of all, that much to be on the show for the first season. And you're not like a big part of any kind of storyline. So there's no need for it. But it is funny to watch the change sometimes in people. Sometimes, I mean, with Scheana, you didn't get that ego. Still to this day, there's no ego at all. There's no ego. It's like
she's only ever asked one thing of me, and I've never been able to get it right. And it was just her good side. Even when we did the thumbnail for the behind the scenes, I still didn't get the good side. We've been having this argument for 10 years, guys.
She said a long argument on I think we actually cut it out of the behind the scenes thing, but when she was like, "You're on my bad side." No, that was in the behind the scenes, but then you moved over and she's like, "Actually, I don't care anymore. Like every side's my good side." And that's the way she should look at it. It's like,
yeah, D Rich 2279, thank you for the super chat. Have you guys seen Schwartz and Sandy's yet? How's the decor? So when I went in town, I didn't actually get to see it in person because they are also closed, I believe, on Mondays and Tuesdays. And then I left on Wednesday. So I haven't seen it, but I've heard only incredible things about it. And you know what? It's funny that what you just said too, Jason, about like the first season ego. When we were talking at Scheana's house, when they were getting ready, Scheana was talking to Allie and she's like, right now, a lot of attention is going to be on you. It wasn't like, this isn't verbatim, but she's like, it always happens with the first season. And I was like, what is she talking about? Not really understanding. And then she used Brock as an example, and everybody cared about Brock last season. They wanted all of the details. It's like your new blood. So then you become a focus, but then you got to carry that. A lot of them have been able to carry it. A lot of them have not. Charlie Burnett. Billy Lee.
Oh God, I forgot she was on the show. Billy Lee, I remember. I
literally thought I was such a douche, but I didn't mean to do it on purpose. I walked up, I was talking to her at Tom. She walked right past and I was like, why do I recognize her? And I'm like, oh my God, that is so bad. But I just forget about her. And I don't think that the casting doesn't make sense for the show. Like she was such a filler and I don't understand.
Who are we talking about? Charlie or Billy Lee? I'm confused. Charlie. Oh yeah. Charlie. Oh my God. Yeah. Sorry, girl. Like, I think that she already had her episode. I don't think we'll see her again the rest of the season. She did a shot with Raquel behind the bar. I don't think anything else is going to pop up with her. I think they just needed to, this is maybe a phase out You know, we
Yeah.
brought on a new cast member. She kind of made waves a little bit, like questioning Lala and Scheana, you know, in certain situations. And I feel like, okay, now let's just phase her out. That would be my recommendation.
We can phase her out. We can
Yeah.
phase her out. All right.
Yes.
This was the one thing that now that we're finally here, guys, smash that like button, show some love. This is really the whole point, was to talk about this Katie and Scheana drama of it all. And I just kind of wanted to hear what your guys' thoughts were. Now, Scheana Shay is being called an instigator because Katie feels like Scheana might have had something to do with Schwartz hooking up with Raquel. I feel like if you personally ask for a divorce from someone, you don't get to set a rule or a tone. And my one rule is don't hook up with anybody in our friend group. You don't even like this girl. You don't care about her. She just films with you. And when you're not filming for the 3 months that you film for, the other 9 months, you guys probably won't even see each other.
Did Scheana not ask Katie?
And she asked her.
She asked Katie. What did Katie say? I don't care. But then, like, when it happens, you care. It's like there was a really quick clip when they were at Schwartz and Sandy's at the opening, I think on the first episode, where Katie said something, well, this will tear us apart. And it's like, you guys are divorced. Like, what else? If you want a divorce, be divorcees. Go your separate ways. You're not involved in each other's lives anymore besides dropping off the dog.
I mean, Natasha, see, and I could never do that either. I couldn't do split custody of a pet. I would just have to cut ways. But Natasha said, I never liked Katie, but I'm on her side on this one. I get where Katie is coming from. However, girl, it's like you're getting a divorce. Just move on. You're dating people.
Here's where I'm not on Katie's side, and I understand that. Like I wish, like, I mean, I've never. When you're an ex, to me, like, that's it. It's done. I don't care who, whatever. You know, I'm kind of like Lala in her situation right now, where like, don't talk to them and then try to talk to me. You know what I mean? Like, I get that. But in this instance where you share a friend group and your friend has come to you and said, you know, I think that maybe like Raquel and Tom should go on a date, or I don't know how it was asked, but when it was like, when you say you don't care, but then like when it happens, I hate that. It's like, you know, I don't care. Like, come on over, you know, like we should invite this person over. And then you invite the person over and you're like, why'd you invite this person over? You know what I mean? Like, it kind of feels like that to me right now.
Well, and then I try to always play devil's advocate, and I put myself in somebody else's position, and I'm like, okay, I think I'm sitting here saying, and I'm not in the situation, I'm saying that Katie needs to get over it. However, if you and I ended up getting a divorce, and then one of our friends, like say my friend from London, John, you know, lets me know, hey, me and Jason are hooking up, I would probably be like, well, you and Kim and both of you, and thank you. Have a good day.
No, and I understand that. I understand that thing too. However, let me put myself in Scheana's position. I'm on a reality show and I want my check. So I'm going to get Tom and Raquel to go out.
Right. Yeah. And honestly, right now, Scheana has to, like, if we're not going to focus on, you know, what's going on with her and Brock, because everything is good, which is what she wants. It's what she's been trying to get for 10 years is her happy ending, beautiful little daughter, cute homes, businesses, they're in bliss. So she needs to do something. And this was that moment. You can't listen. It's a reality TV show. You're filming a show. It's not all like, it's Lala who always says it can't be all kumbaya all the time.
Right. 100%.
All right.
100%.
And also, who said this? Natasha said, y'all are in a small group on TV. It's not hard to not date people. It's not hard not to date people outside of the group just to make everyone comfortable. Yeah, but then we wouldn't have a show.
Yeah, I was going to say in LA, it's very, very easy. Like you can go on a date. I don't know. There's 15,000 apps for people. So I get it. I don't think like Raquel and Tom were on an app and like matched. Of course they, you know, they're on a show and we have to watch this play through the season. I think though Vanderpump Rules, we got what I think we're going to see from Below Deck too, which they don't need, but we got a little revamp in the way it was filmed and edited and everything. It is so good this season so far.
Yeah. Norma, were Katie and Raquel ever close? If so, not cool. If not, all bets are off. Yeah, they were never, from what I understand, they were never close. When I would see her come in, she was always with Scheana. She was never with Katie, and Katie was never with Scheana. So yeah. I don't think that they were close, but yeah. I don't fully blame Scheana because Katie has her, Katie gave her the okay, but I'm just saying I don't see how you wouldn't be mad at your coworker dating your ex-husband. I thought it was interesting too that the entire, like all of the girls, Katie, Lala, Raquel, they were like, it's hot girl summer. And I'm like, you two aren't even sharing anything. Robin Dixon's over here hiding on your little rap sheet. Raquel's over here making out with Garcelle's son, hooking up with a Peter Sir manager, and then hooking up with this guy who is getting a divorce from her co-star. Like,
again,
Raquel's
working
doing
for the check. Yeah. Yeah, working for the check. Good job, Raquel. I mean, listen, Vanderpump Rules, we needed this because 8 and 9 were just such a drawn out bore. Like this is, I feel like 10 and we're back with a vengeance here.
Yeah. Lisa told me that she didn't think that after season 9, she said, I thought it was done. After
I think they all did. I think they all did.
After season 8 and season 9, I have a feeling that a lot of them were probably clinching. I couldn't imagine, to cap this off, I couldn't imagine being in the situation. This has to be, it's a job at the end of the day, right? But you film, you hope you have a good performance, you hope that you don't have an embarrassing moment, and then it goes away, and then it airs 6 months later. Then you have to relive it, and then you have to hope that your show gets picked back up. And then, okay, I can breathe. My show gets picked back up. And then you have to hope that you get a contract and not a day rate. Like, this is exhausting.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Crazy world for these people who live with those problems. The rest of the world is,
Well, someone asked if we took down the morning meeting this morning. We did take it down just because the StreamYard was kind of being funny with us this morning, but
our audio was mixed up and everything. But yes, we're actually going to do a morning meeting tomorrow. We're going to make them more interactive and fun. We just
take callers.
Listen, I got back so late last night. I've had no sleep, and
and I kept Jason up all night.
Yes,
and not in like.
I was like, just thought about that when you said that. Not like that. Not like that.
Okay. All right. So then tomorrow we have the morning meeting. And then, of course, you guys know that we have Anchor Watch. Then we have our Real Housewives of New Jersey after party, all of the pre-records, and we'll keep posting today. Go check out TikTok and go check out all of our community polls because we love to see what you guys have to say. Did we miss anything? I feel like we're good, Jay.
No, we're good.
All right, guys. Thank you to everyone in the live chat. Thank you for all the super chats, super stickers, and thank you to all of our incredible mods in the Addams family. We love you guys. We'll see you next time.